This is Levi from Thin the Herd, and you are listening to the Kevin Powell Podcast. After you're done listening to this episode, go stream Drained out now on all streaming platforms.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. My name is Kevin Powell. I'll always say it, I love talking to bands. It doesn't matter what genre, it doesn't matter what experience level, it doesn't matter if it's live, in person, it doesn't matter if it's Zoom, it doesn't matter. I love it. I love getting to know these bands. I love getting to let you guys know more about the bands. I also love social media now because it's so easy to just learn about a band and start talking to them immediately. And that's kind of what happened here. It was all through like mutual contact. If you guys remember my Shiaru interview, well, that's how I got introduced to these guys. So we're going to be introducing Thin the Herd. How are you guys doing today?
Not too bad, not too bad. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here as well. I appreciate you guys being on. We got a couple guys with us right now. We might have another joining us. What do you guys do in the band?
I am Levi and I do vocals.
My name is John and I play bass.
Okay, so we got Levi and John, and who might be joining us?
Caleb, he plays guitar for the band.
Okay, so you guys got a new song out right now. It's called Drained. And, you know, we were talking back and forth on Instagram. Production, love it. I'm a sucker for good production, and this is right up there. So can you share a little bit more inspiration behind that latest single and kind of like your thoughts and process going into creating this?
So this was before John and EJ had joined. This was just a me and Caleb project. And Caleb literally said before making the song, he said, I just want to make the heaviest song we've ever written. And really that just kind of opened it up into like how much freedom we had, because we're suckers for that stuff. Just the low tuning guitars, the breakdowns, and really the inspo for it for me vocally too. After getting the track back, I was like, oh man, like this is a really dark and heavy instrumental. And it really opened up the vocal possibilities for me to talk about what I wanted to talk about.
Now we're going into lineup changes. So you guys get a little bit of a lineup change. What's the new lineup bringing to the dynamics here?
Wow. So really, we had EJ from Two Sides of Me join, and he's the vocalist for their band. So funny enough, he's now our drummer. And with him, he is very creative when it comes to making fills. That was something I struggled with previously doing songwriting because I'm a guitarist by heart. I don't really know how to play the drums. So programming drums and writing drum parts, I struggled with. But having him with that to help with that was like huge improvement for when it comes to our writing. And then John joined the band, and he came from a previous band that him and EJ were in called Vilified, and he played bass for them. But we were looking for a bassist, like good bassist, for a while. The one we had in the past, a little bit wishy-washy. John, on the other hand, very great. Like, he came on, instantly had ideas, instantly was wanting to cooperate and help us out with writing new songs, new bangers. And he's just great personality, great to get along with, sweetheart. But we took him to Florida with us for the music videos, and he's been absolutely amazing. So the new lineup is...
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Of course.
So you're saying he was contributing and like being a band member?
Yes. Yes. From the get-go.
I wish I had a confetti gun right now so I could pop that. Segment happens, the balloons drop down from the ceiling.
Maybe one day. For sure. I'm extremely excited for this opportunity. One of the things that really drew me to, like, I had talked to Levi initially. I got to talking to Caleb after I had I think the first time we talked was the first time we met up, but Levi and I were discussing a lot of things before them offering me the spot regarding direction and mindset and just the way we wanted to handle things as a band. And we agreed on everything basically, and it has been just a great experience so far. Like-minded, workhorse people in the band. Everybody's extremely talented at what they do, and we're very excited for the future because we are going to be a force to be reckoned with. For sure.
This is where I get my other confetti gun in. It's positive, just yes. So I love it's radiating off of you guys, and it makes me excited. So you guys should be excited too. So with that being said, where are you guys from? Are you guys spread out? Are you kind of in one region?
A little bit spread out.
spread out across Virginia. I am currently from Roanoke, and I'm about to move to North Carolina. I guess John and Caleb, go ahead.
I'm from Mount Sydney. It's pretty much the sticks. Nothing out here. And I'm all by my lonesome. I'm the only one over here on this side. So
I live in Richmond, Virginia.
Very nice.
Yeah.
West Virginia over here, so we're not too far away. Richmond was really cool to visit. I think, I can't remember when it was, but anyways, songwriting. You guys were talking about how this song came out before the lineup change, but lineup change has now already happened. What's happening now? Are you guys kind of like hammering away at stuff now? What's going on?
We are currently working on a song with our producer. So that's been our first full project together as a full band. And then we have another song that was the previous lineup's work. But right now we're just currently hammering stuff together for the first time. And that's been so far really awesome because it's been the first time we've had a full 4-piece band where everyone is contributing and writing ideas. And that's been super awesome to have.
For sure.
So let's say someone finds out about you guys and you guys have a show coming up and they walk in and they're, waiting for you guys to play. What can someone expect out of a live show from you?
you better mosh. You better mosh.
I think a lot of energy for sure. That's
Yeah.
one thing. You're going to definitely get a lot of energy. I've seen everybody's like stage presence and everything. And of course, playing in a band with EJ before and, seeing videos of Levi and Caleb doing their thing. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
Do we
Yeah.
have anything scheduled with you guys coming up?
We have a show in Lynchburg with, funnily enough, Two Sides of Me, which is like our brother band, and A Sense of Purpose. And then we have some shows that are unannounced, but will be announced relatively soon.
Okay, cool. So with that, I want to talk about, everyone likes to talk about the scene, right? It doesn't matter where you're from in the United States or not. Scene is a big thing. People talk about community and this and that. Do you guys have an opinion on, I guess, the metalcore scene today? Go ahead and share individually. And how do you guys see Thin to Herd kind of fitting in?
That's a tough question. I think what I like to see now is bands aren't scared to be heavy, because we've had a resurgence in what I call pistcore, or what a lot of people call pistcore. Bands like Throne.
I'm sorry, did you say piss core or
Pissed.
pissed?
He did
Pissed
indeed
core.
say piss core.
Pistcore.
Okay.
Pistcore.
I thought you said piss core.
It's so
Piss
bad it's pissed.
with
No.
William Murderface,
Yeah.
Death Clock. All right.
Yeah, but
It makes you
bands like
pissed.
Throne, Heaven's Gate, bands like that are just like having this resurgence of popularity. So it's cool to see that bands aren't scared to be heavy in the metalcore space. That's really, I'm just hopeful that there's a space for us and it's a little more inviting to be a heavy band nowadays, I think.
Yeah.
Agreed. It's been getting, a lot more mainstream over the past couple of years from what I've seen. Like it's, of course, with social media and, algorithms and For You pages and all that stuff, it reaches a lot more people. And then, people who had no clue about it, who were just not surrounded about it, are finding out about it. They're like, oh shit, this is cool. Like I can be a part of something, like I can, be involved in my scene. And it's been like a very, especially after COVID, coming out from that, everybody wasn't going to shows, and then everybody was just like, I need to like do something. And a lot of more people found it.
Do
Yeah.
you guys prefer, I don't like to harp on COVID ever, but it's a good talking point. Do you guys remember going or playing shows pre-COVID?
We were actually a COVID baby band, basically. Like, I think this band existed basically because COVID happened, and me and
Okay.
Caleb we met, actually, the band didn't start technically until 2023. Like, we didn't start writing music, but I think as a product of COVID, we were just like, we're stuck in our house. We love music so much. Like, we just want to start something. And I think realizing how easy it can go away, really, I think, especially for me, was like, okay, I need to like start doing this, because you never know what might happen in the future.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we talked about pissed core, like Throne and Heaven's Gate and all those fun bands too. And I'm actually waiting to see the new Varials. I want to see what that's going to sound like, because
Ooh. Did you see them on this last tour that they did?
I didn't see them, but I know like
Oh man,
the guy from Cell was filling in,
Mhm.
aka
Dude,
I don't know if
it was awesome.
I don't know if he's the new
Levi and
vocalist
I saw-
now or not, and I
They
don't know.
haven't They haven't
What happened
said
before?
anything.
Right.
I don't know, yeah, but they haven't said anything. But Levi and I saw them in Richmond last weekend, right? It was like last weekend,
Yeah.
I think. They were phenomenal. I think I've seen Burials probably like 4 or 5 times now, and that was easily one of the best times I've seen them in terms of sound and just overall show quality. They were incredible. I thought they stole the show that night.
That's the Pissed Core resurgence right there. That show that was thrown Burials, No
Yeah.
Cure, Heaven's Gate,
That was a nasty.
and that was a
lineup.
packed show. That was a packed show.
And I mean, you were talking
100%.
about the bands aren't afraid to be heavy anymore. Let's take the newest Whitechapel album, for example.
Right.
Immediate people loved it. And they're like,
Yeah.
why weren't you doing this the entire time? I get it. You don't want to do the same album every time. And, over however many years that was, maybe you want to do something different. They're playing either Incarceration or Sonic 10. They're playing one of the bigger festivals this year. So I'm like listening to that Spotify playlist, going through shuffling. I'm just either working out or driving. And one of the songs from one of the albums I didn't really care for came on. I was like, who is this? This is a really good hard rock song. It's Whitechapel. I was like, all right. So, they're good. But after a while, yes, people are like, all right, we want the heavy. So, yes, I'm glad you guys are heavy.
What's up, everyone? We are Soft Spoken. You're listening to Kevin Powell Podcast. Be sure to check out our interview and stream Martyr now.
Me too.
Specific influences other than the ones we mentioned that kind of make you guys sound the way you do?
I would say, Caleb, you might have a better idea of what influences us, because really my influence for writing vocals is really Caleb. I just match whatever energy Caleb kind of has given me in the past.
Well, that's cool.
So, I mean, honestly, I grew up on like Breaking Benjamin and bands like that, like the hard rock, Creed, stuff like that. But as I got older, I got into the more heavier stuff. And at this point, I'm just pretty much all pissed core. Every now and then I'll listen to some melodic stuff. But like when I started writing Thin to Hurt songs, I'm like, I just want to make people be angry. I just want people to swing and hurt each other in the pit and try to cause violence. And that'll make me happy. So yeah, really bands like Throne, especially Burials. Burials is a huge one for me. Dealer, the old school Dealer, those first 2 EPs, that's like prime pissed core, stuff like that. Yeah, just heavy.
Sweet. So I don't want to assume this when I was listening to you guys, and if I'm dead wrong, sorry. Breakdown of Sanity. You guys like any influence from them?
I actually listened to Breakdown of Sandy. I like Levi. I tried to show him a few songs. I tried to put him on, but he wasn't a huge fan of the mixes, I think. But
yeah, some are hit and miss. Yeah.
But I personally love Breakdown of Sanity.
Sweet. So when it comes to future plans, you got new lineup, new single, you're working on stuff behind the scenes, future show announcements. Are there any goals you guys want to do for the remainder of the year or moving forward, whether it's individual or as a band?
I'd say getting us out on the road is my biggest goal. Like having something that goes across the US is my biggest goal ever. That might be a little bit away, but we're inching closer and closer. I'll say this, we do have a run planned. I'll just say that. So finally, we're not just doing one-off shows. It's actually going to be like, oh, this is a tour. And that in itself for me is really cool. So that's my goal, is touring.
100%. And I think also just, aside from touring, overall growth and, because, we're pushing everything very hard on the socials and on the streaming platforms, that's biggest way to reach people nowadays. And I think that's going to be a big priority, especially this year. But in the next following years, you're going to definitely see us out on the road in a lot of different places. Just getting the ball rolling early is doing what we can.
I have enough time for 3 questions, and they're my favorites. Dream tour. Who's going to be and why? And this
Including us or
including us.
Yes,
Including us?
you're on the tour. This could be next year,
Okay.
tomorrow, 10 years, whatever you guys want.
Okay. Levi, go
I'll
first.
say I want Pincer Plus to come to the US, and I want to say hi to my boy Josh Ang.
That'd be dope.
I'll say that'll be my addition.
Okay.
John, what's your addition? Add to the lineup, build the lineup.
Sure. Yeah. Honestly, God, like there's so many bands that I would really, really want to tour with. I think one of my favorite bands right now is Spite. I really do see us fitting on a lineup with them at some point. So Spite, everybody, if you're hearing this, hit us up because we bring the energy just as hard as y'all. They're
on the
an
come
insane
up.
band. They're great. I would love to tour with them.
Knock Loose. That would be awesome.
That's a good lineup right there.
That's a pretty good lineup. All right. I can see it. So we're going to put that into the universe and see what happens. Another fun question. And I have stolen this question from the Wheeling Nailers, which are a part of the ECHL. And I tell this every single time because it's a good question. I didn't make it, but I'm stealing it. I don't care. If we went through your phone contacts right now, who is the most famous person in your phone contacts? And if you were to call them, would they answer?
I'm pretty boring. I don't feel like I have anyone
John's already got his phone
famous.
out. He's like, let's go.
John might know some people.
Yeah,
I feel like John and EJ would know people. I would say, oh no.
Damn,
he's not
bro.
technically in my phone contact, but he's on the speed dial is Aang. I guess that's probably the most famous person that I like talk to on a
From The Last
consistent
Airbender?
basis. No, I would. That'd be cool too, though. But no,
And gave you his phone number?
I mean, I can't
That's crazy.
take his phone. He lives in Australia, man. Those rates are insane. I can't pay that. He would. I think he would pick up if he was awake because he is 13 hours ahead of us. So,
Shit, man. Like, I don't know. A supervisor at work, he might be pretty famous.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Not a lot of people that I have like in my phone per se, but like people that like if I were to reach out, they would probably respond.
give us a name, John.
Yeah, like who?
Well, going back a very long time ago, my mother was actually she knew Dwayne Johnson.
Damn.
What?
And I was young.
They didn't know.
I
Look at
remember
this.
being there. And like, cause she actually coached his daughter's swim lessons. Shout out The Rock.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so they knew each other for a while. And funny story, my mother, bless her heart, she did actually not know who he was at the time. And
That's awesome.
one time when she was at the club that they were doing the swim lessons, one of the like cashier people or front desk people was like, "Do you know who that is?" And she was like, "Who is that?" And they're like, "It's Dwayne Johnson." And she's like, "Who?" And then they're like, "The Rock." And then she like acted like she was knowing who it was. And she was like, "Oh, okay." So that's like, I don't know. I don't know how long it's been since they've like contacted each other, but that is probably something. It's indirect to me, but that would probably be the most famous person I have.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The Rock needs to be, I don't know.
Put him on Thin the Herd.
Yeah, we need to put him on.
Shout out.
Get a shout out.
It's about job. It's about power.
Well, what you got to
Power.
do now is for your next merch release is some sort of rip with The Rock on it.
That would be.
You could just
Y'all
definitely put
remember-
his like
y'all remember
surprise
that-
face. That like
Y'all remember
eyebrow
the song
thing.
that he did? Like, didn't he do
Yeah.
that like rap song? That
We
was,
should do a
like,
metal
meme for
cover
a
of
while.
that.
Featuring The Rock.
That's like an Our Last Night thing, bro. They would do that. Shout out Our Last Night.
Exactly. Okay. So one of the last questions I have now, and I ask this for every interview, whether or not a band is starting out, they're at a mid-level, they're bigger, they're huge, whatever. What advice would you guys give to bands that might just be starting out or want to progress along in their career?
Don't be frustrated easily. Just go with the flow and marketing. I mean, it sucks, but nowadays it's like marketing. That's really what matters is
100%.
are you willing to dump money into your product to get it out to
Yeah.
new ears pretty much.
I'd say-
Don't be afraid to lose
ahead,
money
John.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say stay positive, man. Like it is like kind of building off of what Caleb said, like it's so easy to get frustrated and you're going to have so many setbacks or things that you're like, man, this sucks.
Yep.
But it truly is like an awesome privilege to be able to hang out with your friends and write music and play shows in
Yeah.
front of people that like
Want to
like you.
Exactly.
So cool. It's so
And then
cool.
it's
And you
like-
got to always remember that.
Another big thing is just patience, because you need to be patient and find your like what works best for you as a band and for everybody in the band in terms of everything, in every aspect, like live
Chemistry
shows.
is huge.
Exactly. And it's just like finding the right direction and finding what works for you and what works for your growth, and to maximize everything that you would get out of, having a band. Be patient with that kind of stuff, because sometimes it goes quick for some people. They blow up overnight, but most people, 90% of bands are grinding every single day trying to figure out what works. I think that's another important thing in terms of growth.
I mean, very well said, guys. I've heard a lot of different answers over the years, and that was one of the better ones I've heard. Any final words you guys want to say to fans that have been with you guys for a while, or maybe new fans that just hopped on?
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Welcome
an amazing
aboard.
journey so far. We're just getting started, and
Yeah,
we're not going nowhere. So strap in.
100%. Yeah, welcome aboard.
And definitely going to plug the new song, and we'll have another song relatively soon that is also very heavy.
I
Okay.
think this next song is really cool, so be ready for that.
I love it.
Love to hear it. The Rock is endorsing it as well. So, Thin to Herd, appreciate you guys. Talk with me here in a little bit. I'm going to talk to you here in a second off air, okay? All right, guys. That's Thin to Herd. They're heavy. They're awesome. You got to check them out. They might just be starting out, but when you listen to these singles, you're going to be like, damn, that production quality. And when you watch the music video, damn, that production quality. So I'm excited to see where these guys go. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next time.